So namaste. Namaste all of you. Welcome. Welcome. So yeah, for those of you that don't know me, my name's Hayley and I'm here with Bahadur and we're holding this space together. And yeah, we've created this online space as a spiritual support group for everyone through this time and to continue. And it's a space for spiritual development. So it's a great place for you to bring your cares and worries, your questions, and share them. We'll have some time today for questions and answers after we have Sangat, which is our talk. And each week we're going to have a theme for the circle. And our theme for this week is acceptance. And I feel like right now there's a wonderful opportunity for us to practice acceptance. When there's so many things going on that are out of your control, and maybe things that you were attached to in the past have had to be let go of. Maybe new things that you weren't expecting or you didn't really want have had to be welcomed. You know, there's so much change going on. So I'm really excited to hear the talk from Bahadur Singh Ji today on acceptance, because I don't know if everybody here has met Bahadur yet, but I'll do a little introduction. Bahadur has become my teacher and we met about 9 weeks, I think, ago. And he's come from a lineage of teachers. So he's got 4 generations of experienced meditators, and has spent his life living very closely with the eminent saints of India. Hi Joanne, welcome. So we're very blessed, we're very lucky to have Bahadur here with us. He has so much wisdom to share with us and a lot of knowledge as well. He's very well, letting people in. He's very well educated and experienced in the Gabani mantras. So you'll see that when we hand over to Bahadur, I'm going to pop this onto my head, because this is traditionally a respectful way to receive these ancient teachings, especially the Gabani mantras. And when we listen to these Gabani mantras, they have a powerful resonance, which if you allow yourself to be completely open to receiving those sounds, you don't need to understand them, you can feel them. But then we'll get an explanation in English as well. So when you're hearing that translation, that explanation, then I really recommend that you allow yourself to be really open to absorb what's being shared. Okay. So I would like to hand over to you if you're ready. Bahadur Singh Ji, thank you.
Can everyone hear me? People is searching for happiness. the fundamental need in life for everyone. But yet, there is more hostility in our hearts, in our beliefs, religion against religion, the learned against the learned. And there is no acceptance. Acceptance has just disappeared. It's all judgment. I want to share 2 lines from the Holy Guru Granth Sahib. And then I would like to talk about those 2 lines. If there's anything that you find difficult to understand, we will discuss it after the talk. So let's focus our mind. This is a real spiritual journey. This is not somebody who wants to make a real spiritual journey. You have come into the right place. It's going to be tough. But I promise you one thing. I promise you one thing. You will find your peace. जे सुख देहे ता तुझे आराधी दुख पी तुझे त्याई जे सुख देहे ता तुझे आराधी दुख पी तुझे त्याई जे भुख देहे तां इत ही राजा दुख विच सुख मनाई. 2 beautiful lines. If you, my divine Lord, bless me with happiness, give me all the gifts that I could ever want, need, more than I need, then I will worship and adore you. However, even in pain, when everything is going against me in life, my divine, I will still meditate on you. Je bhukh de, bhukh is hunger. Even if you give me no food and I am hungry, I will still feel satisfied. I will be joyful. Even in the crisis of my life, even in the midst of all the sorrow, my Lord, I will still meditate on you. This is a state of the mind of a divine soul, a yogi. Yoga is not about bending bodies, and it's part of that. But yoga goes much higher up, much, much higher up. This is what you call a shabad, the words. And in these words, there's a strong sense of acceptance. This is a stage of non-resistance. No resistance whatsoever. This mindset is also known as Sahaj. Sahaj. Sahaj means balance. Sahaj is that state of consciousness that moment to moment our mind is accepting of the divine will of the Lord, of what is going on in our lives. So somebody who is in Sahaj, they are in control of moment to moment of their lives. This is the first spiritual law. Acceptance is a perception from an experience of an event that has happened in our lives. Only a perception. And those who understand that will embrace the bigger picture. That life is a puzzle. It's a journey into the unknown, where all the events are in the control of our karmic footprints. So, divine wisdom, the first spiritual law, will simply say, embrace your karmic footprint. Acceptance is a flow of consciousness. It just flows, like the stream of the river that just flows. And it continuously moves on. There's no pain, no judgment. It just moves on. It does not respond to happiness. It does not respond to sadness. It simply moves on. To accept is to embrace and encompass whatever is happening around us. And whatever is happening to us. To drop our resistance and make the most of the moment. This is a spiritual law that the true lovers of the divine will understand. My master, His Holiness, Sant Bahadur Singh Ji, who's 80 years old now. And many times he had said to us, he is ready to go on. His journey is finishing. He said to me once, he goes, son, there is so much unhappiness in people's minds. And I said, why is that, Babaji? He said, the mind has two kinds of activity. One that goes up, one that goes down. And the mind, one part of our mind is bathing in the Treguna. Treguna, Treguna. Very important to understand these. That is the Rajogun, the Tamogun, and the Sattvic mind. The three stages of the mind. And all our actions and reactions and perceptions and motives and theories and thoughts arise from these three stages. Then you have the other side, which is the self-examining mind. Kaho Nanak ben apanchi ne mitena bharam ki kai. Nanak the Prophet said, without your self-evaluating mind, you will live in the state of trigona. You will be hostile. There will be hostility in your mind. Now, to become a self-examining mind, you need three things. You need the mantra, you need the Shabad, and you need the Guru, or a holy, pious saint soul. And over a period of time, the mind in itself will start to sense itself as the real self or the real Atman. It cannot be done simply by reflecting. Reflection has to be done through the Shabd, or through a holy person, or through the mantra. This mind, when it achieves its true understanding, is also known as Sat Chit Anand. Sat Chit Anand. It is also known as Jyot Sarup. Sat Chit Anand. These are terms that you probably heard or you probably not heard of. But these are very important. Very important. You will find your peace very quickly when you understand this. Sat Chit Anand simply means truth, consciousness, and bliss. That is the state of your mind. Whatever comes out of this state will be perfect. The reception of this mind in all circumstances will be perfect. It will accept all aspects in every aspect. In all circumstances. Sat Chit Anand. Jyot Sarup. Man tu Jyot Sarup hai apna mool pashan. These are spiritual words, not man-made words. They are mantras of a very special kind. And when we meet somebody who has reached that point of Sat Chit Anand, their every word, every sentence spoken will become the mantra itself. Their words will flow naturally. The water that they put their feet in will become holy because they are Sat, Chit, and Anand. They become the walking, talking mantra. Now, sadly, in the lack of this realization, our Trigon mind has disconnected us from reality. The reality is you are divine. That's the reality. The reality is you are Sat, Chit, and Anand. That is the reality. You are the children of the divine. That is reality. But the Trigon mind has created an illusion. And it has disconnected us from the reality. And we have been fooled by the Trigona, and we begin to live in ignorance. And in ignorance, we have created a fool's paradise around us. My family, my children, my home, my health, my. And in all this jumble of my's, the you and the divine has disappeared. And we establish external relationships with external objects in this manner. And we forget that what we are doing is building a home in fool's paradise. That is not the truth. And this ignorance leads us into a false sense of security. And this false sense of security gives us a false sense of happiness. And this Trigona mind refuses to accept the reality of our karmic existence. It simply refuses. The scriptures say, Trigona maya moh hai, gurmukh chautha pad paye. The three qualities of the Trigon, the Rajo, the Tamasic, and the Sattvic, they all hold people in attachment to Maya. And in this Trigon state, the mind is not capable even to hold still for 1 microsecond. It cannot stand still. It will not stand still. The 3 states will not allow the mind to settle. And the scriptures say, Ik shin mein char kont phire aave. In a flicker of an eyelid, this mind will go throughout the whole universe. And remember, this is a mind that we're trying to stabilize and find our happiness. And in these 3 gunas, our spiritual stability, our physical body, our emotional powers, Shakti, are all being eroded away. We are getting weaker by the moment. Mare lute neet neet kaisi aage kari pukar jana. These are beautiful ancient scriptures. Nobody will share and analyze in the way they have been analyzed. There is a love affair between the mind and Maya. And only a few people understand this love affair. And those who have understood the love affair, they understand the fool's paradise that they're in. That this state, this false love affair, is far away from the peace, happiness, and liberation that they are searching for. Remember, when we hang out with Kali Yuga, we will get double the trouble. It's simple. In the company of the true divine soul, one will attain the 4th stage of higher consciousness. This is known as nirvana. Some people call it mukti. Some people call it moksha. Only in the 4th stage. If we refuse to accept, then the doors to the heart will close. It's simple as that. The doors to our divine heart will close. And we need those doors to be open to allow peace and harmony to enter. And when we have an accepting mind, those doors will be wide open. Peace in chaos becomes easy to manage. and love will flow again. Sadly, in the Trigona mind, every word, every action, every situation we experience are stamped in the human mind. Over and over again, we repeat those same thoughts, the same actions, the same hatred, the same aspects, right, which are negative. And these thoughts have cemented themselves in our mind. They have found a firm, strong place in our mind. And you know what? The beautiful thing about this is that they carry an amazing attention to detail. If somebody has wronged you, you will remember every second, every word precisely. And this attention to detail that this mind holds will give a real impression, resulting in a perception, resulting in happiness and sadness, all born from the perception. The mind is designed to reject, resist, and desire something other than the way life is. Just remember that. Any other aspect for the mind to absorb will be hard truth to swallow. It will not accept. The mind will not accept the way things are. And the battle starts. When the mind wants the warmth, it rejects the cold. When it wants the rain, it rejects the sunshine. It can be upset over the food that's been served if you want a different dish. This is how controlling the mind is. The mind believes that life should go on according to its ideas and its plans, and is angered when it does not. And this is because our mind is the victim of the Trigona. The Trigona mind is alienated and is the enemy of the divine, and will refuse to accept the ways of the divine. And if you take the perspective of the Trigona mind, then you will be at odds throughout your life. And when you are at odds throughout your life, you will not find happiness. The inability to accept will take you into a place which is going to be painful. We will not experience lasting peace. So what's the antidote? The antidote to this is Shabd, Naam, Mantra, Sangat. And slowly, as we adopt the Shabd, the mantra, and good Sangat into our lives, the mind will begin to renew itself. Mantra simply means the tool of the mind. The mantra is important. And remember, your battle is not against you. You are not your enemy. Your battle is with Kali Yuga, which is inside you, which is taken over you. Your battle is not with you. You are divine. So, whatever we experience, be aware. Life is full of experiences. Do not let the experience of the experience go beyond our awareness. Good or bad. Otherwise, these experiences will enter our hearts. And that is where the pain starts. Do not chase after experiences. Somebody has said bad about you, don't chase after it. Somebody thinks you're a saint, Don't chase after it. Do not focus on your experiences, good or bad. Because if we make an emotional contact with these experiences, our awareness will be sacrificed. And we will become the victim of Trigona. So do not let your mind determine your inner peace. The question we have to ask ourselves, how desperately do we want peace? How desperate are we for peace? What are we prepared to pay for this peace? If we are desperate for peace, then we have to see our mind for what it is. Our mind is in the clutches of Trigona. But our mind is not Trigona. Our mind is Jyot Sarup. We are not the Trigona mind. You were born divine. You are divine. But yet somewhere along the line, we gave our control away to our mind. So the biggest challenge starts, how do we take the control back of the mind? How do we take the reins from this false Kaljagi mind? How do we align our perspective with the divine mind? And not to allow the Trigona mind to tell us how to think or feel. Peace and love and harmony is not far away if we can understand and accept the karmic nature of our existence. When we refuse to enter emotionally into any experience, and that experience is an inharmonious experience, then pain will fade away forever and your path to peace will start. This is what we call acceptance. There's a very simple truth in all this, my friends, that our pain and our woes are simply a consequence of our mind's interpretations, no more than that. No one can hurt you unless you allow them to. How good or how bad people are is their business. When you allow it to make your business, you've entered Trigona. Focus on your own business. Understand that you are divine and not the Kaljagi mind. If we understand who we are, then we will be no longer at the mercy of any human conditions. And it will become easy to love and accept yourself, even with all the mistakes that we may well have made. Because remember, we are both human and divine. So the key to our happiness is all within us, but only when we are ready to fight, to search for that key. Refuse resistance. Refuse anger. Refuse to be in the company of argumentative people. And start to surrender to the divine by understanding who you are. One thing, things are going to happen in exactly the way they are supposed to happen. The divine mind understands this. But the Trigona mind creates a resistance to this. And this creates an instability of thought. Our true nature is peace and poise. You were born from the divine, you live in the divine, you are shrouded by the divine loves you, you are divine. And when we understand this, then it will become very easy to accept the karmic flow in life. No one can hurt you when you are divine. Everything will hurt you when you have a Kali Yuga mind. Because the divine understands the flow of life. For the Kali Yuga, it's always about me, and me. And when we realize the karmic flow of life, the negative feelings born from Kali Yuga will disappear like a puff of smoke. And when we accept our divinity, then accepting our humanity for all its weaknesses will become that much easier. And this is why acceptance is the most powerful teaching of all. It is the key to freeing yourself from the disharmony of life. There is a very simple mantra that we can sometimes just share. With the divine love in my mind, today I'll vow to smash those thoughts which have created so much pain in me. I will send these thoughts back into the heap of nothingness when the divine is with me. With the power of divine love in me, today I vow to smash those thoughts which have created so much pain in me. I will send these thoughts back into the heap of nothingness. I am divine. 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 I am Sat Chit Anand. I am the Jyoti Sarup. I am divine. Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru. This is known as a Trikoti mantra. It has three distinct sounds. Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru. And let this sink inside you. Let the mantra sink inside you. Thank you. Thank you for your time. I wish you happiness, joy, peace. Nothing can hurt you, nothing will hurt you, nothing out there is designed to hurt you. Over to you, Hayley. Thank you.
Thank you. Feeling nice and peaceful now. And now that it's handed over to me, I thought what I could do, we thought that what I could do would be to translate some of this that's been shared, because there are some words in there that maybe some of you haven't heard before. And I wonder if you can all feel, the energy that is shared in these teachings, in these words. That's what's really special about this. So now I'll do a translation. Talking about acceptance, and just to look at what's been spoken about. We talked about the resistance, first of all, that can come up. And when you can come into a place of no resistance to the situations that are happening externally, then you can find more peace. And a way to practice non-resistance is to also practice not reacting, so non-reactivity. And we talked about, Bahadur talked about the Trey Gunas, so I thought I'd explain that a little. The Trey Gunas are the Rajas, Tamas and Sattvic mind, which is what we could say is like the lower mind. It's our personality and the different levels and the layers of the mind. So I'd like to just check with you actually, because I sometimes get it, I'm not sure which way around it goes. We have the tamas mind, which I would say is the densest, when you're feeling lethargic and you're struggling to get your get up and go and to do things.
Rajasic mind.
Okay, that's Raj. That's interesting because Rajas is like the fire. Okay, so that's the Rajasic mind.
Rajasic mind, yeah.
Tamas mind is like the anger and the jealousy and
desire, mainly driven by desire.
desire. Right.
Tama means desire.
Yeah.
It's a mind that wants to progress. Very important in this world. If you want to run a business, you want to make money, you want to do well in life, without desire, it cannot happen. So the Rastic mind is a mind that is just lazy and dull and heavy. It's a very critical mind. It's the mind that will just find faults in everything and anyone. It's a mind that is not prepared to do anything for itself, but will continuously assess other people's actions. It's a mind that will never be satisfied. Yeah, it has absolutely no get up and go.
Yeah.
It's a mind that will just eat those sorts of foods which are heavy, not good for them. It's critical. Yeah. Then when you go from there, you go into the tamasic mind. The tamasic mind is what the word is tama. Tama is a desire. And a tamasic mind is far better than the rajasic mind, because with tama, you can have good tama and want to do good things as well. It's a ladder towards the providing the tama is in the right way. It's a ladder towards spiritual success or even material success. The driving force behind that is tama. Of course, in that then comes jealousy and envy and all the things that come through wanting to succeed in life. These are the negative aspects of that mind. So if somebody else is succeeding, there'll be an envious color of envy, color of annoyance, frustration, jealousy, that type of mind. But it can, if it's used in the right guidance, it will take you towards a sattvic mind. And the sattvic mind, of course, is a mind of contentment. It's the mind where a sattvic mind are those people that do good in the main. Not all the time, but in the main, their main mindset is to aspire to do good things. The problem there is ego. The biggest trapping in a sattvic mind is ego. Because when you're doing things, even when you are meditating, or you're doing good things, there's a very, very subtle layer of ego that actually kicks in. And this is why even that is actually rejected in spirituality. Because any action driven from even the slightest bit of ego is not acceptable. And I think we can all look deep inside us from time to time, and when we think that I have no ego inside me, and suddenly if you sit back as a witness to your own self, you realize deep inside, well, that was ego driven there, really. Yeah. So after that is nirvana. This is where the journey starts. Remember that the spiritual journey starts from that mind. Okay. The spiritual journey doesn't start even in the sattvic stage. These are all codes of conduct that we do in the material world to make ourselves worthy. Okay, when we say nirvana, what we're basically saying is that we have or mukti. It means that we freed ourselves from the three states. Okay, so there is nothing in those three states which is going to hold us back. Now what we are doing is we are now going forward with the Shabda mantra. Then, of course, you got the 10th gate, Dasam Dwar, and you got the Panchaton, Anahadaton, Pancha Shabda, Anahadavajya, Sangha, Saring Pani, Gur Shabdi, Govinda Gajya, Sabatannakaha. Then that's a completely different world altogether. Yeah, and from there, the journey will make yourself to where Sachakand was saying, Rankar, Karkarvik, another Nihar, where the divine power actually exists. Where it's actually working from. It's called Sachkhand. Khand is a place of pure truth. Yeah. So this is all the journey that starts from here upwards. Anything from here downwards, we are still in the three khands. So the spiritual journey for a true spiritualist will start from here onwards. That's what these khands are. But we will discuss the khands. We will discuss many, 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 many secrets of spirituality. We will discuss the play of Maya. We will discuss the life before we came to this earth. We will remind ourselves of all the promises that we made before we came. That's much, 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 much. It's a beautiful journey, and we will make it together. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So I wanted to touch on how you mentioned as well how to get past this Triguna mind and to actually get to the Satchitananda and the Nirvana. And you mentioned that that was to have a mantra and a shabd. So this word shabd.
Shabd is the word, the words.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you got the Mool mantra, which is the Bij mantra. Okay. Then you got the Gur mantra. And you have many different types of mantra, which we will share as the time goes on. But we are talking way beyond the league of where we are at this moment in time, because at this moment in time, we have to address our Triguna mind.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because we have to take this step by step.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, it'll be no more than just an education, but education is not going to give us happiness. We have to start applying, and in this forum, we have to be honest with each other, and we have to learn to share our problems so that we can help each other. This is the idea of this forum. It's no good keeping quiet. If you go to the doctors and then you keep quiet, you're not going to get the medication. Yeah. So here we have to be open. We are all soul brothers. There's nothing I'm going to share with Steve or Daryl or Donna or Jay or Joe or Ruth or V or Rajveer, Lou, Rosina, Anna, Ramiro, Gavir. There's nothing we're going to share. There's no land, no money. We are actually sharing a spiritual path together. Yeah. And this is one family, and we need to help each other. I will need that help. We will all need that help. And if we can find this mindset where we can literally sit here and talk about each other, then we can help each other's problems. A problem shared is a problem halved. There is no hierarchy here. There should never be a hierarchy. Yeah. We're all brothers and sisters and the children of the one divine. And we should keep it that way. I cannot claim any knowledge because it's not my knowledge. It's the knowledge of the divine. The fact he wishes to use my body to share this knowledge, that's all I can say is thank you to the Lord that he's found me worthy to use it. There's nothing here which I'm proud of. I'm not sharing anything with you that belongs to me. But now that we got together for whatever the reasons, believe me, 10 weeks ago, I didn't even dream of this. Now that we've started this journey, let's make it happen. Let's just start. One thing I can promise you, we'll be in a far better place than we are today. You take one step towards the divine will take 100,000 steps towards you. He is just ready to give. Are we ready to receive? This is what we are trying to do, is get this mind ready to receive. The biggest problem in life is the mind. And we chastise our relationships. We get upset with the people we love. We get upset with so many people, but the reality is all the mind, and everyone else get the blame.
Yeah, and I think that's the first thing. Sorry, just wanted to say that taking responsibility for your own thoughts.
It's your mind. People are who people are. The dog is going to bark. You're not going to stop the dog from barking. The snake is going to poison you even if you feed the snake milk. Okay? They're in nature. Certain people have certain natures. But you should not let their nature take away the beauty, right, of who you are. That would be absolutely naive. And we do that when we allow our emotions to interact with experiences. Hello, Mackenzie.
Hi, Mackenzie.
So the pain in life starts when we allow the emotion to interact with the experience. You need to let the experience fly away, sail away. Okay? The moment you give your attention, your focus to the experience, it's got you. Good or bad.
I think that's so valuable to remember when a strong emotion comes. And that strong emotion comes as a result of an external experience. In that moment, or even an internal experience, something that is a repeated pattern for us internally in our mind that can come from anything that triggers it.
Even a spiritual experience, let it go.
It's catching it straight away and recognizing, okay, I'm having an emotional reaction to something right now. How can this is where distractions are good, isn't it? When this is like a good distraction, when you can actually focus your mind on the opposite, which is something that we mentioned in previous circles, Pratipaksa Bhavana, which is practicing the opposite, or cultivating a positive emotion, cultivating a positive memory, or you can have physical grounding, pleasurable experiences. Like I like to use essential oils. Ruth is going to love it that I'm mentioning essential oils. If anybody wants to learn about essential oils, then talk to Ruth, because she's got some beautiful oils that I'd never heard of, which are amazing. So you can use an oil to smell, or you can have like a favorite blankie or something, something that's a pleasurable distraction in that moment. Do you agree? Is that something that you would suggest as well, Bahadur?
They're all aids like the mala, Sangat. When you find your divinity, there's this place called Arti. You will see that the diamonds are singing the praises of the sky, the stars, the sun, the moon. This whole world is the temple of the divine. And there's fragrance in each and every aspect of this divinity. Gagana mein thal rava chand deepak bane taraka mandal janak moti. Tup malyan lo pavan javro kare sagal bandaraya fulanta jyoti. Even the wind is fanning the divine. Everything in divine is serving the divine. We need to reach out to nature, expand our love, expand it so much, so much, so much. This whole world is the temple of the Lord. It really is. And in this temple, there are good people, there are bad people. And if he has decided to put these bad people in his own house, then who are we to call them bad? Our heart is that small. This whole creation is his. Right? We are his children. So we have no bad people. There is no perception even of a bad person. If the Lord has found a place for that person on this good earth, then we find that place for that person in our heart. Sadha Sambhakash Burana Bhaya. For the enlightened mind, there is nothing bad that happens. In pure love, there is nothing bad that happens. The problem is the perceptions of the mind. When our emotions get entangled, then we create problems. Live life, love life, but keep the emotions where they belong. You sell your emotions to the Trigona, you're in trouble. Keep the emotions in the Lord's hands. Nobody is going to make you happy. No relationship is designed to make you happy. Every relationship will go from happiness to sadness. It does. That's just the nature of life. Something that makes you happy today will make you sad tomorrow. This is why it's a fleeting illusion. We are aging every day, every moment. Life is very valuable. And yet we lose it over an illusion. The reality is you are divine. You are God conscious. Allow your conscience to expand and expand, expand, until it reaches the furthest points of the universe. How many streams and islets go into the ocean makes no difference to the ocean. Dirty water, clean water, it makes no difference. The divine soul is like an ocean, not affected by good or bad, not affected by praise or slander, because they have found focus and dignity and love in the one divine. Avare oot mein sagli dekhi ek teri oot raha. Avare oot mein sagli dekhi ek teri oot raha. एक तेरी ओट रहा, एक तेरी ओट रहा, सगले ओट में सगली देखी, एक तेरी ओट रहा. The divine soul sings out to the Lord. I have seen every relationship. I have depended upon many relationships. And I've come to one conclusion, that my relationship with you, the divine, is the only truth. You will not judge me. You will not let me down. You will forgive me. You made me. You know my weaknesses. Our means everyone else. Ot means dependency. Sagali dekhi, I tried the dependency of many people, and I've come to one conclusion: only you, my Lord, only you. Tu hi, 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 tu hi. Tu hi, tu hi, tu hi, tu hi, Vaheguru. Tu hi, tu hi, tu hi, tu hi. Just you, just you, just you, just you, just you. No one else. Everything else is an illusion. Haley, I have to go. I'm not feeling well. Huh?
Okay, thank you.
Anna, thank you. Mira, thank you. Rosina, thank you. Lou, thank you. Ruth, thank you. Mackenzie, thank you very much. Rajvi, thank you. Someone on iPhone, thank you. V, thank you. Joe, thank you. Another one on iPhone, thank you. Jay from Vancouver, thank you. Donna, thank you. And Rosina made a very special effort all the way from Buenos Aires. Thank you very much. Steve, thank you, my brother. Darrell, God bless you, thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. So, if you'd like to stay, we still have 10 more minutes. I'd like to talk a little bit more. Bahadur just takes us to that place, you know, he pulls us to the divine, doesn't he? It's really powerful. So, does anybody have any questions about what we've talked about? Anything that you want to understand from what's been said? And I'll see if I can translate it a bit. So one thing that I wanted to share about everything that we've talked about, we talked about there being these pleasures in life and being the pains in life. And in Sanskrit it's sukha and dukkha, pleasure and pain. And we tend to go between these two to varying degrees. It can be like extreme pleasure into extreme pain, or you could be naturally inclined in that way, or you could be a person that kind of jumps a little bit smaller jump into pleasure and pain. But you've got your sort of scale of your pleasure and your pain, and then in the middle you've got, you know, the place in between where the two meet, and the pleasure and the pain are sort of dancing together. They're the same thing, and they neutralize each other, and they come into equanimity, equilibrium, into nothingness. They neutralize each other, they disappear. So this is a practice that I really recommend doing. This is the teachings of Buddha. Buddha taught to do this, to not react to situations. So when you're having that emotional response to something that's happening, you can choose to observe it in a way where you control yourself so that you're not reacting to it and going into the pain or going into the pleasure. You can actually witness this pain or this pleasure as it's happening. And that's a really powerful practice. And that brings you higher into your mind and away from the attachments as well. The things that we want to hold on to or grasp. When we practice not having a reaction to any of it, that really takes us straight through the middle into that divine place. So I just wanted to share that. If you have your mala or however you are, you just repeat this mantra, and as you repeat the mantra, you're trying to completely focus on that sound. Waheguru, 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 It's like you're giving everything away. Anything that's been on your heart, on your mind, whether it's painful or it's pleasant. Waheguru, Waheguru. You give it away to this Waheguru mantra. And the Waheguru is connecting you with the divine that wants to take away your pains and welcomes your pleasures. Whatever you give, whatever emotion it is on the spectrum of all emotions, is gratefully received by the divine. Waheguru, 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 As you're giving it, you're grateful, you're saying thank you for taking this from me. Waheguru, 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 Letting go of all your judgments. Waheguru, 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 Waheguru. Thank you. I'll close our little circle now. Thanks everyone. If you need anything, if you want to reach out and talk about anything, then feel free. And we'll see you next week. Love you all. Thank you.